As reported by numerous outlets this week, Whole Foods is now going to reinstate their charge of $9.95 for grocery delivery beginning October 25th. This includes those orders placed by Amazon Prime members who previously got free delivery on orders over $35. The announcement comes less than a month after Whole Foods began testing the fee addition in several markets, including Detroit, Chicago, and Boston areas. An Amazon spokesperson also told Jeff Wells, who broke this story in Retail Dive, that this helps the grocer cover the higher operating costs it's now shouldering for delivery orders without increasing product prices. Chris, what do you say on this one? I don't know.
I don't know what to make of this, actually. And I actually went to a good source of mine on this and said, hey, what's your take on this? And his source was, like it's reported, that they were just having difficulty making delivery work financially, even curbside pickup working financially. And so this is their response. I don't know, though. The crazy part about this to me is the math on this gets really wild when you start to think about it. And credit to my friend and mentor, Tim Mantel, who's held a lot of different jobs in retail. Most recently was the chief merchandising officer at Barnes and Noble. He pointed out something really interesting to me. He's like, Chris, check out how much this costs.
Right.
If you're doing your grocery delivery every week, that's $10, right? So like $500 a year. Then you got to think there's a tip on that, probably 20% basket size of $50 to $60. That's $1,000. So if I said to you, Ann, you could have grocery delivery for $1,000 a year, would you do it?
Oh, no way. That's crazy.
You wouldn't, right?
I mean, compare that to what is shipped $99 a year, like Walmart $89 a year. I mean, granted, you're including tips on top of all that, but even if you just go apples to apples and you're doing $500 a year versus $100 a year, like that's significant.
It's a really unique perspective that you showed me on by which to look at this. Because then, I love that you brought up those points, because I got to thinking, like, what is my threshold now mentally of what I'm going to pay for this? And I think you're right. It's anchored at like the $100, $119 for Prime. And so my question now becomes, I'm curious what your take is here, is what do they do with fresh? What do they do with just regular groceries? Because I feel like for them to charge for that just isn't going to happen. It's not in the card. So they're just saying to the Whole Foods customer, hey, you're rich. We don't care about you. Subsidize everybody else. Fine, we're done.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly where I was going with this too, Chris. I was curious if that was actually a test to see, what people would pay for Amazon Fresh delivery, or kind of figuring out where their threshold is. But again, if you look at Tim's analysis here, if you think about, okay, for $500 a year, what could I get instead of Whole Foods delivery? I could get a DoorDash membership. I could get an Instacart membership. I could get a Shipt membership, and I could get, a GoPuff membership, all for that amount of money, and have all of these outlets at my disposal.
Someone wants you on door number 2, Ed.
Yeah, right. I mean, and the other kicker about this for me is that Whole Foods is still charging you to pick up your groceries. Like, you still have to pay $2 to $5 to pick up your groceries curbside, which is ridiculous. Yeah. If it's under a $35 purchase, but still, like, there, Target's not doing that. Walmart's not doing that. I just think that, it's important to be testing what the price point is for delivery. I understand that that's a cost that grocers cannot absorb on their own. But I think that, this is not something where you can start at 0 free delivery and then go up to 10. You got to go the other way, like start at 10 and drop it back down and see where that threshold is instead of the way that they did this. So
yeah, it's just really, really bizarre. It really is. And like, I can't figure out what to make of this in the long run, because it feels like the price has just been so anchored in everyone's head. And then you have the VCs playing, the same game too, or playing their game like they always do.